All right. We are back. Ms. Rohr? We are back. We are back. And I believe that we're at the point now where you're going to make recommendations for the persons who are going to serve on the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Yes. And we're going to do that on an individual basis. Okay. So I will start with the first applicant. I will make a motion to appoint Mr. Terry Rumsey to the CAC board.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion?
Yeah, Terry, how do you get the first?
He's in the first row.
It's in the first row. Good reason there's any discussion on the motion? Not hearing any call for discussion. I'll put the question. All those in favor of appointing Terry Rumsey to the Citizens Advisory Committee concerning the Third Street Dam, please say, or Third Street project, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. Motion passes.
Okay, I make a motion to appoint Mr. Adam Cradle to the CAC board.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Technically, I think it's Father Adam Cradle.
Father, I'm trying to keep it neutral.
Is there any discussion on the motion? I'll put the question. All those in favor of appointing Father Adam Cradle to the Third Street Project Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Okay, next I would like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Michael Jordan to the CAC board.
Second.
Thank you.
Any discussion on the motion? Not hearing any. I'll put the question. All those in favor of appointing Michael Jordan to the Third Street Project Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Next, we have a motion to appoint a Linda Healy to the
Second.
CAC board.
All right, motion's been seconded. Any discussion? I'll put the question then. All those in favor of appointing Linda Healy to the Third Street Project Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Next, I'd like to make a motion for a Dr. Samuel Lemon.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Not hearing any. I'll put the question. All those in favor of appointing Dr. Samuel Lemon to the Third Street Citizens Advisory Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Next, we have a motion for a Letitia Devon, sorry.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Not hearing any. All those in favor of appointing Patricia Javons to the Third Street Project Citizens Advisory Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Next, we need a motion to approve a Michael Kinsley.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Put the question. All those in favor of appointing Michael Kinsley to the Third Street Project Citizens Advisory Committee, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Next, we have a motion to approve or appoint a Brett Lester.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? I'll call the question. All those in favor of appointing Brett Lester to the Third Street Project Citizens Advisory Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. The motion passes.
Lastly, to round out the 9-member board would be a Robin Laserson.
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Not hearing any call for discussion. All those in favor of appointing Robin Laserson to the Third Street Project Citizens Advisory Committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say no. The motion passes.
And I just asked Dr. Stein.
Yeah, very briefly, the purpose of the committee is to provide important feedback on the borough on the three main options identified for this project. That would be rebuilding the existing dam to include a 208 road and a bike path pedestrian walkway on the perimeter. 2, rebuilding the existing dam with some sort of non-motorized pathway, for example, a greenway, for just pedestrians and bicyclists. Or 3, breaching or removing the dam entirely. The idea here is to produce a report that would be due by April 1st. The scope of activities, it will really, the idea here is to work with and to try to address broad community concerns of borough residents and really look at this from the viewpoint of multiple stakeholders, not a particular stakeholder, but multiple stakeholders. To the extent that technical expertise is needed in decision making, it will flag the need for such information and bring that to the attention of the borough manager and its subcommittee. It also will work with the borough manager, who will assist in setting up any meetings and stakeholder interviews with a variety of people, whether they be part of borough staff or other professional service firms, and so on. It'll also reach out to a broad cross-section of the community, representing all viewpoints, and gather that information, as well as on particular everyone's preferences for different things, and also on particular design alternatives. It's encouraged to collect data from both residents and businesses to support its work. It will, as was stated earlier, will provide ad hoc meetings to meet on Mondays, 6 p.m., which members of the public are invited to participate in. It will also schedule other meetings as necessary. The report should be a report. We have been working out some guidelines for the nature of that report, which will be shared with the committee on Monday, and the kinds of things we'd be looking for to aid in our decision making. That's about it. The idea here really is to look at multiple stakeholders, who the stakeholders are, what their interests are. Also try to help us flesh out the design, some of the aesthetics for particular choices that are available to us, and look at some of the, what are some of the impacts, likely impacts, and stakeholder preferences, as well as what are some of the, what they feel, in addition to some criteria we provided for evaluation. If there are any, they can also bring those to our attention, and if there are any other factors that we should consider in our deliberations. So it's a very, very important charge, and one that we will seek their input, as well as we'll be, of course, be working with other stakeholders to gather more and more information on this, so we can make a really, really well. I think in the end, we'll be in a position to make a really, really well-informed decision that meets multiple stakeholder needs. So.
Thank you.
How will we inform these new members? Do we have Jeff send an email and also a copy of?
Jeff will send an email if need be, because of the time constraints, make a phone call. I would say, and a copy of the scopes and purposes that have been approved tonight. I would say that once the committee has the opportunity to take a look at the scopes and purposes, which would be Monday's meeting, then after that, it will be publicized on the borough website. That's it. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
You're welcome. Not quite yet. But I do wish to extend a thank you to this subcommittee. You've been asked to hit the ground running on an extremely important issue in this borough, and you have gotten up to speed very quickly. You'll need to maintain that speed, as will the rest of this council. But so far, it looks as if we'll be able to make that pace. So congratulations, thank you. Look forward to your good work in the future and to the good work of the Citizens Advisory Committee in the future as well. Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Robinson? All right, public comment and privilege of the floor. If anyone wishes to address council at this time, please come forward, state your name, and state your address.
Patty Stella, 417 South Edgemont Street. I just want to just once again talk about the Midi Farmers Market and thank Bill Taylor. He's a magnificent. We're very fortunate to have Bill, health inspector, to have Bill in the borough. That was kind of a disjointed statement. I did attend last year a forum on the PA Act 106. So I think that's very important for the health board, and I'm sure the solicitor and Monica Simpson to be aware of, because that's actually going to take precedent over borough and or township health laws. So it's something that I think we need to work together on, and that we need to be extremely aware of. One of the things I want to make sure that everybody is aware of on council and the public is that as far as the market committee, our utmost is important, is not just to provide wonderful market resources and vendors, but to make sure that they're healthy and that they are beyond standards. And I have to say that our vendors do go beyond any kind of standards. So we will work with the health board, with liaison, with anything that is required. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Ed. Mr. Rumsey.
Terry Rumsey, 342 West 4th Street. Just want to say, as a representative of the Friends of Glen Providence Park, we are very supportive of a broad range of citizens participating on this advisory committee. I understand your point on, but we recognize that the mission of our organization is to be passionate advocates for the park, for the environment of the park, and for park users, but that this project has other economic and environmental and public safety and transportation issues, and that those of us who will serve on the committee serve as residents of the Borough of Media first and members of FROG second, but that obviously Friends of Glen Providence Park is going to see itself as a someone providing, people who are providing information in this process, and the job of that organization is defense of the park. But for those of us who sit on a CAC, we recognize that our charge is broader, and we will try to remember that.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address council?
Hi, I'm Linda Healy, and I'm apparently a member of the Citizen Advisory Committee.
Put your track shoes on.
Excuse me. I wanted to thank acknowledge previous councils and thank the current council for years of effort on the 3rd Street project. First of all, for assuring public safety, also for obtaining funding for a multitude of possibilities, and finally for inviting citizens to participate in this project. It's going to be exciting, and it's what makes media special, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address council at this time? Mr. Indor.
Well, I watched from home. I was making dinner. I wanted to run back over. I was out of breath for a minute there. I wanted to comment on Terry Rumsey's comment here. I had been present at a few of the early FROG meetings, and it became apparent to me fairly early on that my ways were not the FROG ways. But one thing that was extremely clear to me about Terry was that he wasn't pushing any particular agenda. I mean, they had their park concerns, but anything that came out of FROG was not Terry's push. It was something that everybody got together, and it took a while, but it always does. And so he's a very consensus-driven guy. And so there's no push there for any particular thing other than the best thing. And so I believe in terms of an objective person, Terry is top shelf. I don't know everyone who's on the committee, but the several people who I do know, I also believe are absolutely top shelf. And I'm going to hurry up on my report and hand it off to him, and I'll be at the meeting and I'll be questioned on it, I'm sure, and anything I can do, certainly, I'll be more than willing. I have always tried to remain absolutely neutral on whatever that should be, and I've found that others have too. In that everyone thought, oh, so-and-so wants this, or so-and-so wants to push that. No, not so much. I did have one question, Mr. Robinson. I heard you talking, and I was glad to hear that you've made contact with the president of the swim club. Who is that?
Let me rephrase it. I spoke with Paul Cavanaugh, who I do believe, or if he is not currently, was the president.
Oh, okay. And my understanding, and this just, correct me.
I will.
I'm sure you will. My understanding was that what you said, Mr. Kavanaugh said to you, was that there was an agreement in place, referring to the lawsuit that's been...
Excuse me, I have to ask the solicitor if this is moving into executive session material.
I don't want to move into executive session material. I'm just wondering if Mr. Kavanaugh was generally cooperative, if he's going to come to committee meetings, if you had invited him to come to the committee.
As I indicated, I had a conversation with Mr. Cavanaugh. I let him know that at tonight's meeting that we were creating the CAC and that we were having members of the borough serving on the CAC. And I did not get into or ask for if he was going to participate. I think that is a decision that is his and or that of the club itself.
Oh, indeed.
So I do not want to and don't think it's appropriate that I would try to reference what he said to me in a general conversation. And to be very candid, the conversation was about 4 minutes before I was supposed to be at our personnel meeting tonight, so it was short, sweet, but I felt that it was important that the borough contact the other individual or meeting entities of Broomall with regards to the agreement in which has been signed and the oversight of Judge Proud. So that's all it was. So I don't really want to speak on Mr. Cavanaugh's behalf, other than my personal opinion of the conversation is that he was very understanding, very cooperative, but also referenced that, you know, he would probably be, you know, if there was something of significance, that's when the judge would be involved, and that's where I would leave it.
Okay, for your part, we can leave it there. For my own part, and just as someone who has no affiliation with Borough Council or anyone else whatsoever, I can say that, as I'd said before, I've talked to any number of different parties involved in this. A lot of people around town. I've gone to county meetings, found them to be cooperative, very much so. The one place that I see somewhat of a potential sticking point is with the swim club. And I have some concern in going forward.
Mr. President, yes, this is based on personal opinion, and it's not something that I think should be addressed to council.
I agree.
I would only say...
Mr. Indorf, do you have any further comments that you wish to make here tonight?
The swim club is the problem, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
What did the consequences? You want to know?